Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon here tonight with your SmackDown on Fox review on Friday, February 12th, 2021. Hope everybody is having themselves a good night. Hope you all enjoyed SmackDown for the 2 hours it was overall. Some points were a little boring for me personally, but overall it was a solid show. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't anything too crazy outside of the Elimination Chamber match that was announced tonight and the stipulation for that match. But we got some stuff to talk about tonight. We won't be that long. We'll be about 20 to 25 minutes here on the show. I appreciate for y'all who watch. The new subscribers that are on the channel, welcome to the channel, and I hope you like the content that I bring here to the channel every week and almost every day of the week. But if you guys have not already, before we start talking about SmackDown tonight, make sure you go check out this past Monday's Monday Night Raw review. I would appreciate that. The Wednesday AEW Dynamite review, we talk about Sammy Guevara leaving the Inner Circle and the Falls Count Anywhere match between Kenny Omega and Kenta against Jon Moxley and Lance Archer. And then last night's NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day preview and predictions with Cameron Johnson. That's the video I'm trying to push right now. We're at 78 views right now for that video. If we can get that to over 100 views, I would really appreciate that a lot. So, if you haven't already, out of all those videos, go check out yesterday's NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day preview predictions. And Cameron was absolutely excellent yesterday. And I want to thank him for coming on the Big Fight Field channel to talk about the show last night. SmackDown opens up with Roman Reigns, and he's pissed off about Edge not giving him an answer for last week on who he's going to challenge at WrestleMania. Who's he going to challenge at WrestleMania? And then Adam Pearce is standing in the corner all by himself. Roman Reigns is like, you don't need to be afraid. You can come over here, say what you got to address. And it is something about the Elimination Chamber, and he has known that Roman Reigns is going to be defending his championship inside the Elimination Chamber. And then Roman Reigns stops him, and he says, I'm going to give the microphone to Paul Heyman on this one. And Paul Heyman says that, yes, we have agreed for Roman Reigns to do his defense and to defend the Universal Championship at the Elimination Chamber, which is a big date, but we did not agree to have the title defense inside the Elimination Chamber. We agreed to have the Elimination Chamber match where the winner would go on later in that night and challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And then Pearce said there's two names in mind. We're going to have qualifying matches, by the way, to see who gets in this Elimination Chamber. So SmackDown has qualifying matches, but Raw doesn't. I totally don't get that at all. That makes absolutely no sense. But he says, we are going to have qualifying matches tonight, but there are already two names that I know that don't need to qualify, that have already earned their spot in the Elimination Chamber match. And this makes absolutely no sense if you ask me. He says Jey Uso, which I don't understand why he doesn't deserve. He doesn't have to earn his spot, because what's he done lately? Besides have matches with Kevin Owens, what has Jey Uso done lately on SmackDown? Pretty much nothing. And then the other one was more mind-boggling. he says, Adam Pearce says, Kevin Owens. Do y'all realistically think that Kevin Owens doesn't need to qualify for the Elimination Chamber match? If he lost to Roman Reigns on 3 separate occasions, 3, the Jey Uso one, you know what? I'm going to be generous. I'm going to let that slide. Kevin Owens, no. That is not going to sit well with me. Kevin Owens lost 3 times to Roman Reigns. As a matter of fact, he shouldn't even have a chance to get another Universal Championship match. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win, because I don't think he's going to win the Elimination Chamber to go on later that night and fight Roman Reigns. But the feud is over between Roman and KO. It ended at the Royal Rumble, and it needs to stop. I'm hoping KO has something meaningful and good at WrestleMania, because she has showed you in this feud with Roman Reigns, he has showed you how good Kevin Owens can really be. So, I love KO, but he does not he shouldn't be able to, just get a slide in. You know what? You don't need to qualify. We're just going to put you in the Elimination Chamber. No. But we did have the first qualifying match of the night. It was Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio. A decent tag team match for what it was. I knew the heels were going to win, because I didn't think they were going to have Dominic and Rey Mysterio in this match together. So it made more sense for the heels to win. And Sami Zayn won the match with the Haluva kick to Dominic Mysterio, and Sami Zayn and Corbin have punched their ticket to the Elimination Chamber. Then we get an open challenge. We get an IC Championship open challenge from Big E to anybody in the locker room. And then Apollo Crews' music hits. And what I loved about this is Apollo cut a promo before that. But they're right in the middle. They had no microphone up. And they were just trash-talking each other face to face. Apollo was like, I'm not going to leave as long as you're Intercontinental Champion. I'm coming for the gold every time you have it. Whenever you have it, if you still have it, I'm coming for the gold until I get the gold. And then Big E's like, get in the back of the line, getting back and catering. You already had your shot, kid. I loved that back and forth between Big E and Apollo Crews. I thought that was excellent. But Crews was rejected the IC Championship match, and it was awarded to Shinsuke Nakamura. So Shinsuke Nakamura faces Big E for the Intercontinental Championship, and the match goes about 7 minutes before it ends in a DQ, and Apollo Crews gives Big E a drop kick. Now, that might have been Crews' heel turn, but ultimately, it means nothing. If Apollo Crews turns heel, it means nothing. He's not going to be pushed higher on the card if he's a heel or if he's a babyface, because, right now he's a filler challenger. He is filler for Big E's IC Championship reign. I'm pretty sure we're going to get another match between Big E and Apollo Crews. It's probably going to be at the Elimination Chamber if I had to guess. And Big E's going to beat him again. So ultimately, if tonight was Apollo Crews' heel turn, it means nothing. To me, it means absolutely nothing. So then this leads to the entire SmackDown locker room coming out to witness the return of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out. He has his old theme music back. Burn It Down is back. I love it. He's up. He's on the stage. He says, "This is where I belong." It feels so good to be back in this ring. And I'm like, oh no. No. Because I actually thought he got into a very emotional promo, and he talked about his newborn baby with Becky Lynch and being a father and all that. And he said it made him realize the leader he could be for SmackDown Live, for SmackDown. And then the entire locker room walked out on him. But one guy stayed out there, and that one guy was Cesaro. And Rollins was like, I knew you would learn. I knew you would understand what I'm saying and try to be the leader. And Cesaro just shrugged his shoulders, and he shook his head, and he walked to the back casually before Seth Rollins attacked Cesaro, and the referees and officials came down to get Rollins off of Cesaro. And then Daniel Bryan, he chased Rollins away. So that was the segment. Overall, the promo by Rollins was very, very boring. I got scared for a second that he was going to turn babyface. I'm like, oh my goodness. They're not going to have Seth Rollins go back to his garbage babyface gimmick, are they? Thank God they didn't, because I would have been on a rant here tonight on the Big Fight Field channel. But overall, the promo was boring. But what I like is, could we possibly... Now, I know that Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan is a very possible match for WrestleMania. But is there a chance, with Seth Rollins attacking Cesaro, is there a chance we're going to get Seth Rollins in a feud with Cesaro going into WrestleMania? If so, take my money, man. Take my money. I am all in on a Seth Rollins and Cesaro feud, leading that to a match at WrestleMania. I think this would absolutely benefit Cesaro by beating a top heel on the card, a top guy on the SmackDown roster, such as Seth Rollins. Have Rollins put him over at WrestleMania on that big stage, and then get Cesaro climbing, hopefully, to that main event picture. But ultimately, we'll talk about more about Cesaro in the main event, what I think about him being in the Elimination Chamber and all that. So we'll save that for the end. We had Bayley versus Liv Morgan. Standard match. Bayley defeated Morgan in about 10 minutes. We had the Street Profits versus Chad Gable and Otis. This was a good tag team match. I'm not going to lie. This was a pretty good tag team match for what it was. More than likely a number one contender match. Street Profits got the win, and they're more than likely going to get another shot at the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and I would not be surprised if they won back the Tag Team Championships from Rude and Ziggler. Then we had Shayna Baszler, not that. We had Sasha Banks cutting a promo in the ring, and she was interrupted by Bianca Belair. And Bianca, they were laughing and all that. She's like, you're not the boss. I am the boss here. And Sasha was laughing. And then out came Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And I'm like, dude, why do we gotta see Nia Jax twice in 1 week? And then ultimately, they played back the footage from Shayna losing to Naomi on Raw, and Nia Jax screaming out, "Oh, my hole," on Monday Night Raw, and then being put through a table by Lana. I did not like this segment, and I'm going to talk about it. Why I didn't like this segment. So they have a brawl. Sasha Bianca, they go over after Shayna and Nia Jax. They take down Shayna, and then Nia goes for a leg drop, I believe, on Sasha. She goes for a leg drop, and she's about to scream it out, but she doesn't scream it, and she whispers it. But the reason I didn't like this segment is because WWE, they love... that when Nia Jax screamed out "my hole" on Raw, that was not supposed to happen, I think. Absolutely not. That was not a part of the script. And now, what they're trying to do is they saw the attention it got on social media. It was trending for hours. Okay? My hole was trending on Twitter for hours after Raw on Monday night. WWE probably saw that and they're like, you know what? Let's make an angle out of this. Let's try to make a storyline out of this. So what they're doing is they're ultimately creating something that was funny to the people on social media, and they're going to jam it down your throats until you get absolutely sick of it. I'm telling you right now, that's happening. I did not like this segment. I don't know what happens. Do Sasha and Bianca team up to face Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax? I don't think that it needs to. I don't think they need to go this route for that match to happen at WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. And then the main event. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. This is the last qualifying match. Match went about 12 minutes. Cesaro taps out Dolph Ziggler with the swing into the sharp shooter. And then they get attacked by Corbin and Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. And Kevin Owens comes out. And all 6 members brawl to give a preview of the Elimination Chamber match. Whatever. But Cesaro is one of the hottest guys on SmackDown right now. He has not lost a singles match. I don't even remember the last time he lost, if I'm totally being honest with you. If I'm WWE, and I will say this next week again, you will hear this again, folks. If I'm WWE, I am capitalizing on the momentum that Cesaro has from previous SmackDowns to the wins over Daniel Bryan to the win against Dolph and other things. I'm capitalizing on that momentum. I'm having Cesaro win the Elimination Chamber, go on in the main event of that night and challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. I'm not saying he's going to win because I don't think he's going to win. He's going to get screwed over by Seth Rollins. It's going to lead to them having a match at WrestleMania, and then Cesaro continues to chase for the Universal Championship. Down the line, if you want a mega babyface moment, if you want someone for the crowd to cheer on and want to be really over, I think Cesaro is that guy. He is so good. He deserves a world championship match, a reign, let alone a championship match. He absolutely deserves a championship match, and I hope they give it to him at the Elimination Chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your SmackDown review tonight. Solid show overall. Not too bad. Next week, we got the go-home show on Raw and SmackDown for the Elimination Chamber. Then next Sunday is the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. But thank you guys for watching the video tonight. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this Sunday's NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day review here on the channel. We'll be back on the channel Sunday night. After that show, I might or might not have my brother on the channel. I'm not so sure yet. We're going to talk about it, but we'll see. But Sunday night, NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day review right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on tonight's episode of SmackDown? Hit that like button if you like what you heard from me in this video. And follow me on Twitter, @Colin_Joseph. And guys, like I said, I will see you Sunday night for the NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day review here on the Big Fight Field channel. So have a good night, stay safe, and as always, stay classy.